You know, when you look at healthcare in 2025, it is this incredible paradox. On one hand, you have these absolutely breathtaking innovations, but on the other, the system is grappling with some huge challenges. So today, we're going to unpack that revolution in real time.
Okay, to really get a handle on this, let's start with just one number. 2.04 million. That's the projected number of new cancer cases in the US alone for 2025. And this isn't just some abstract statistic, right? This is the urgent human why behind this entire healthcare revolution we're about to dive into.
So here's our game plan. We'll kick things off with the big picture, then we're going to zoom in on two absolute game changers, AI and bioengineering. After that, we'll look at how care is actually being delivered these days, and we'll wrap up with maybe the most important question of all. Who really gets the benefit from all this?
So what exactly is this new medical frontier? Well, picture a system that is stretched to its absolute limit, dealing with aging populations and more chronic illness than ever before. But, and this is the key, at the very same time, it's being flooded with just historic levels of money and innovation. It's created this fascinating push and pull between the problems of today and the incredible promises of tomorrow.
All right, our first stop is artificial intelligence. But I want you to try and forget about AI as just another tool. This is way bigger. It is fundamentally reshaping how we diagnose, how we treat, and even how we think about disease. You can almost think of it as the new digital scalpel.
And if you ever want to know where the future is headed, just follow the money. A whopping 44% of venture capital in health tech is now pouring into AI for what's called provider operations, and that signals a massive, massive shift. The big money isn't just chasing the next miracle cure. It's being spent to fix the system itself, to cut down on doctor burnout, to reduce waste, and just to make the whole thing run smarter.
This chart just lays it out so perfectly. For so long, medicine has been reactive. We find a disease that's already there. Now, we're moving to a predictive model. AI algorithms can sift through scans, through patient data, and spot these tiny little patterns that a human eye would just miss. This lets doctors see who's at risk in the future and step in before things get serious. It's a huge change from treating sickness to actually managing health.
I love this quote from Dr. Eric Topol. It just nails it. Medicine used to be the art of intuition, but now it's the science of information. A doctor's gut feeling is now being supercharged by data. That right there is the heart of the AI revolution.
Now, let's switch gears to the second major frontier, because it's not just about computers getting smarter. We're stepping into a whole new era where treatments don't just come from a lab or a chemical factory. They come from our own bodies. Biology itself is literally becoming the drug.
And as Dr. Lillian Su puts it here, this is the whole new paradigm. We're finally learning how to speak the language of our own cells, how to give them new instructions, and how to tell them to fight disease for us.
And a huge part of this is mRNA technology. So really simply, an mRNA vaccine is basically a set of instructions we send to our cells. It tells them how to build a very specific protein, maybe one you'd find on a cancer cell. That protein then acts like a training dummy for our immune system, teaching it exactly what to look for and what to attack. It's amazing. Our cells become these tiny, on-demand medicine factories.
And the results are, well, they're just stunning. We are now using vaccines to actually treat cancer. Just look at that top line. Personalized vaccines custom-built for one person's specific tumor have kept pancreatic cancer patients disease-free for over 3 years. Below that, we're seeing off-the-shelf vaccines that are dramatically extending survival for people with melanoma. We're literally training a person's own immune system to hunt down and kill their unique cancer. It's incredible.
This same kind of precision applies to new drugs too. It's a move from what you might call blunt force chemotherapy to something more like molecular chess. Instead of just attacking a part of the body, these new drugs hunt for a specific genetic flaw. Look at the first one, doridaviprone. That's a huge milestone, the very first systemic therapy for a fatal type of childhood brain tumor. Every single drug on this list represents a new, smarter way to outthink a specific cancer, offering real hope where honestly, there wasn't much before.
And then there's CRISPR. You've probably heard it called molecular scissors, and that's a great way to think about it. It lets scientists go into our DNA, find a very specific gene, and then snip it, replace it, or just turn it off. In a huge case in 2025, doctors actually used CRISPR to edit a patient's immune cells and completely wiped out their advanced cancer. The takeaway here is so profound. We're not just treating symptoms anymore. We are actually starting to rewrite the source code of disease itself.
So we have all these incredible new tools, right? AI, gene editing, it's amazing. But how are we actually getting these treatments to people?
Well, that's the third major shift. Healthcare is breaking free from the four walls of the doctor's office or the hospital.
Just think about this for a second. 40%. In 2025, 40% of all outpatient visits are happening through telehealth. This isn't some niche service for special cases anymore. This is a core part of how our healthcare system works, and it's totally changing who can get access to care, especially if you live somewhere remote or underserved.
And it gets even wilder when you look at something as hands-on as surgery. The operating room itself is going remote. With telementoring, an expert surgeon in New York can be virtually looking over the shoulder of a trainee in a small town, guiding them in real time. With augmented reality, they can overlay a 3D map of a patient's organs right onto the surgeon's view. What this does is democratize expertise, making the best surgical knowledge available pretty much anywhere.
So we've seen the incredible science, we've seen the amazing new ways we're delivering it, but this brings us to the most complex and maybe the most important part of the story, the human equation. Now that we can do all these amazing things, who actually gets them?
This is the question that really haunts this whole new medical frontier, because at the end of the day, innovation without access is just a promise left unfulfilled for millions and millions of people.
Let's make this really tangible. Let's put a price tag on it. A single infusion of CAR T therapy, that's one of those amazing gene therapies we were just talking about, can cost over $400,000. And that's just for the drug. That doesn't even include being in the hospital. This one number just perfectly captures the huge gap between what science can do and what people can actually afford.
And that's the core tension, isn't it? The very same breakthroughs that are getting standing ovations at medical conferences are raising these incredibly difficult questions for the rest of us. How do we make these things affordable? How do we scale them up? Because discovery without delivery, it just leaves too many people behind.
So that leaves us with one last big picture thought, and it's about how we choose to see medicine itself. For a really long time, we've used the metaphor of war. We fight disease, we have magic bullets, we talk about winning the battle. That whole mindset focuses on destroying a threat. But what if we chose a different metaphor? What if we thought of medicine as an ecology? That view is all about balance, interconnection, and prevention. It's not about destroying an enemy, but about nurturing a healthy, resilient system. The metaphor we choose to guide us, that's what will ultimately decide whether the incredible breakthroughs of 2025 create a healthier future for just a few of us or for all of us.